This week's episode of the Good Dude Podcast is brought to you by Embrace Jiu-Jitsu, Hidden House Coffee, and Next Gen Peptides. Well, we've already been going, so this is kind of really how we start.
I love it.
I don't do any intro, but just how about this? Tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, how
Sure.
you kind of ended up. Well, we met you at the gym, or Ben.
I don't know anything about him outside of gym,
Oh,
man of God, real estate,
tell us a little bit about
family,
yourself.
kids. That's all I know.
Let's go,
So
dude.
I
You
hate
just heard my
talking
life.
about myself, but I'll give you kind of the thing. I was born in Los Angeles at Daniel Freeman Hospital. Grew up part-time in Marina Del Rey. My parents were divorced very young, and I was very fortunate to have two sets of parents. So both of my parents married again to spouses who became my step-parents. My stepdad is arguably my best friend in the whole world, a guy that's taught me hard work, how to dust your shoulders off. My stepmom, she did her best. She recently passed, God rest her soul. But I had two sets. So I had completely different dynamics with both sets. My dad moved to Buena Park when I was about 5, so I grew up in Buena Park. Partly my mom moved from Laguna Beach to Newport Beach, and so I had kind of both sides of the track. I got to see a completely different world from white collar and blue collar and appreciate both. You know, one taught me what hard work is. The other taught me business. And then went to elementary school, Buena Park, junior high, Buena Park, then decided middle of junior high to move in with my mom and went to high school, finished high school at Corona Del Mar.
Oh yeah.
And then played tennis. That was kind of my sport that I thought I would be a pro at. But in between that, the real estate element always sat with me because my stepdad was very intentional, as was my mom, about influence. And my mom was an interior designer and then stopped. And my dad was a land developer. So he ran a couple different publicly traded home building companies and just taught me by osmosis. It wasn't like I knew I wanted to be a developer. I just knew, like, hey, my dad did this and he's really cool.
Yeah.
And he gets to wear a tux and he gets to wear a suit and he's always smells good and he looks good and he's always got really cool people around him and he seems really important. And so that's what an adult should look like. And I also thought about the career path of what my dad did. He was in procurement. He worked for Boeing like basically his entire life, from the transition from because my grandfather was a rocket scientist, so my parents met in Germany. I think I was conceived in Germany, but born in the U.S., pretty sure. My stepdad was a Marine sergeant. My father, Andy, who, again, God rest his soul, was also my best friend. He was in the Army. So two military men on either side, you know, pouring into me discipline, structure, and then two very different moms. So long story short, I thought, okay, well, if he works there, like steadiness, right? I got to see steadiness. I got to see kind of move up, but it wasn't really ever a vertical move up. It was a lateral move up. And it was this slow process versus this kind of volatility with development, which is you could be really wealthy one day and really poor the next. Yeah. And so I lived both of those. So I got stability and then I got volatility. So I learned kind of both worlds of where I wanted to be and kind of how I wanted to operate. And from a, you know, perspective, as I got through high school, I was terribly insecure. You know, I was like a chubby kid. I was like 4'11" when I graduated high school. And then I hit a growth spurt. I don't think I hit puberty until I was like 18. And then all of a sudden I grew like 6 inches in a summer. Hair started growing, thank God. And I completely changed the way that I looked. And then I grew again before I was 25, an extra 2 inches. So now I'm 5'8", which is not tall, but for me, from where I was to where I'm at, it's great.
Let's go.
You know, and then I in high school was one of those kids that didn't take it serious. I had ADD. School was not my thing. Sports were my thing. But I was fascinated with how things were built, which suits me well today. And I was fascinated with how the world works. I was fascinated with people, obviously girls, as any young teenage boy is. But I got through tennis, I was pretty decent. And then I got offered a full ride to UCLA and a full ride to USC. I turned them both down.
Wow.
Yeah. And it became one of these things where it was like, I thought it was a regret for a large part of my life because I was like, oh, I see my friends going so far ahead, or I see the people that I look up to being so far ahead. And so that fed the insecurity. But basically I was like, okay, I'm going to go out and explore and find myself. Well, what I found was the bong, right? Smoked a lot of weed every day. I surfed almost every day. I had the best tan. And I learned kind of along the way what I didn't want through those choices in life. And then, dated the wrong women at the right time, seemingly. Got into drugs. Cocaine was my deal. Drinking. I'm 18 years sober today. Had a series of, thank you. Had a series of relationships where I thought it would be really cool to do drugs with my girlfriend. And so we did a lot of drugs and we drank a lot. And then at about I'd say 21, I was like, okay, I'm teaching tennis full time. I ran a couple of different clubs at that moment in time, working my way up. But I was, a tennis pro. I wasn't a aspiring, athlete, so to speak, but I could play. I could keep my own. So I would play satellite tournaments and try to qualify for points and this and that. I just said, enough's enough. And then one day I got a job offer from a guy to be a project manager because I was running the team. I went to my dad. I said, hey, do you know this guy? And he said, come work for me. I became my dad's assistant, learned land development, progressed, but I was teaching tennis to make ends meet because he was like, I'm only going to pay you $2,500 a month. And to me, I'm 47. So when I'm 21, steady income and my rent's like $500, I'm like, dude, that's 2 G's to go rage. Yeah. That's amazing.
I got plenty of money.
I got plenty of money. My car payment is, I don't have a car payment. This is great. My dad pays my health insurance. This is incredible. So flash forward, my run wasn't that long. It was 21 to 24. And I did everything you could, not hard drugs, just cocaine. That's hard enough. Yeah. But it was a lot. And so I slowed down after that. I met another girl who then became my wife. She came down. I did, I don't know who our audience is, so I'm not going to say it. But basically we did drugs together. And I was like, she's it. 2 days later, she moves in because she was moving down from San Francisco because she was going to go be a stripper. So I'm like, don't be a stripper. I'll save you. So she moves in. 3 months later, she's pregnant, and we embark on that journey. Yeah. And in between that time, I am working with my dad and, highlighting as a club promoter, trying to be cool, and teaching tennis in between that while I'm trying to recover. And so all that taught me and all this stuff was that none of it matters. What mattered, the day that changed my life, was when the day Maximilian, my son, was born. I have 4 kids. And I call him my game changer because in that day, I realized that I never wanted to look at my kids through unsober eyes again. And I never wanted them to see me that way. And so I embarked on a journey and I didn't know how, I didn't know what. And my mom and my dad supported me. All my parents supported me. They're like, dude, go get it. And through that process of getting sober and going through the 12 steps and helping other men and being accountable for the first time ever really in my life and being responsible, but being accountable to my kids. I ended up marrying the girl because I thought it was right. Before we had Max. And then about 1.5 years, 2 years later, 18 months exactly, we had another child, Sasha, who's my baby girl, my only daughter. And then shortly after that, Mom and I got divorced. And it was like God continued through my life. My story is basically about character building. How do I continue to stack you with problems until you thank me for those? And you realize that those problems become your, we say your prayer requests become your praise reports. So now I'm able to look back at my life at my age, 47, which isn't a lot, and look at it retrospectively and go, there's nothing in my life that I look at that I regret. I used to regret this. I used to regret that. But now I look at it and I go, dude, everything has a specific reason for a divine purpose. And then I finally I finally met my forever girl, who's sitting right over there, and fell in love with her at first sight. Wasn't looking for her, anything like that. We have 2 beautiful children together, and we are a blended family. And she made my life make sense. Whereas I was kind of doing the thing, I was doing well in life and this and that, but she was that key to come in to become a true partner where my life from the beginning to now made sense as to what my purpose was. My purpose was to be like your podcast is, a good dude and a good dad. And that's exactly what my life is about, is all of my choices, all of my actions, all of the way that I treat people, everything is a culmination of the experiences that I've had. But one simple truth is treat others how you want to be treated. And that's really what I do. And it's also about, since becoming a Christian, we've been Christians for quite some time. And when I found my wife, I found Jesus. And so, I mean, you can't get better than that.
Yeah.
And since turning my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him and defining him, I can now, like I said, retrospectively look back and say, dude, everything makes sense. Some days, when I future trip and I look out at what the future is going to be, it doesn't make sense. But if I'm here and I'm present and I'm like with you guys and I think about my past, I'm like, that all makes sense. Like I'm right where I'm supposed to be, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I just got to stay on the path of doing good for the right reasons with the right people.
Yeah.
So that's so good. I like what you just said too. Like as you look to the future, you don't always know, but like where you're at and where you've been has become clear. I heard this really great analogy. My buddy did a sermon years ago, and he's like, that everyone loves that verse, like God's light into my feet, or the lamp into my feet and the light into my path. And he's like, this is such a cute verse that everyone loves, and everyone thinks of like a 10,000 lumen flashlight. Like they're like, you shine that puppy and it like you can see forever. He goes, but really back in the day, all it was a candle with a piece of brass behind it. And really all it lit up was about a half a foot in front of you, enough for one step. And he goes, so you know where you've been because you were already there and it's easy to look back. You know where you're at, but it's not necessarily meaning that you're going to necessarily know everything that's going to be following. And he goes, and if you learn to live with that and being okay with it, there's going to be a lot of freedom that comes from it. And I was like, as you said that, that's what popped into my brain. I was like, wow, that's so good.
That's powerful. Yeah, I think Dr. Martin Luther King also said that and picked up on that scripture where he said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step. And so when you look at that in life, I think that's super important, is about one step in front of the other.
Right.
You and your service and all of that, they don't teach you to march sideways, it's march forward.
Yeah.
Continue to push, continue to do that. And I think if you don't have battle wounds in life or battle scars in life or experience, then are you living? And that's really the acceptance, and not a lot of people have that. And I think because of the mistakes I've made throughout my life, I can look at that and go, all right, I haven't hurt people, thank God. I've hurt myself through the decisions that I've made. So I think part of that is accountability, but also recognizing that there's a higher power.
Yeah.
Right? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Is like when I realized in life, like I don't really control this, right? I'm here and my job is to be Christ-like as a Christian. That's when everything started to get better. Life started to get better. I mean, financial worries, the blessings, everything I could go on and on about some of the stories with my wife and I about how we got married and the situation leading up to that and the miracles that have continued to happen in my life as a result of that.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about this platform and just the conversational base, we say it all the time, but like there's not a lot of space for being able to have a conversation like this, right? Like what are we going to do? Go grab a burger and talk about our feelings? Maybe, I have some people, like Jordan's one of those guys I'd call if I needed something, right?
Oh, for sure, dude.
But for the most part, it's usually, like surface level or work talk or how's your kids, or like whatever the thing is at that moment. But when you sit down and you have these conversations, and I'm listening to you speak about like the things that you've gone through, I think one of my favorite components is we have a lot of friends that are obviously like not Christians or are, you know, questioning or ask us things. And sometimes Jordan and I are like, dude, we don't know.
No.
You know, we don't have the answers, but I fully believe that God is my, you know, Jesus Christ is my Lord, God, and Savior. That's what I believe. And that's what I know to be true. I don't need to know every detail. But when you hear a story like yours, and I'm not trying to discount some other people's stories that are maybe not as, you know, battle scarring as you will, but like when you've gone through life and you've gone through these things and you weren't a Christian before, and then you find God, like kind of talk us through that. Like what was that like for you?
Bro, so I just got chills literally, and I will probably cry. So there was this lead up, and I was seeing, you know, a bunch of women. Sorry, babe, I know you think I was a virgin when we got married. But like seeing a bunch of girls, I was single. I had a house in Irvine. Like I was doing extremely well. And that just kind of came with the territory, right? And I was making just stupid choices, but still sober, you know? And one day I was sitting out on a patio and I was smoking a cigarette. And I didn't wear glasses full time at the time. As I progressed in age, thank you, Jesus, glasses became more needed, so to speak. And now I can barely see across the street without them. However, I'm sitting there, no glasses on, and I'm smoking a cigarette, doing something I should not be doing, which is smoking a cigarette. And no judgment to those that do. And bro, I literally saw a tree in my neighborhood, I kid you not, in the shape of Jesus with the beard and a white robe like this. It's a eucalyptus tree. I drive by it all the time, and I'm like, that's the day. And so that happened. And flash forward, I meet my wife. I didn't tell anybody about this. I meet my wife. And a good buddy of mine, Matt Nunez, who introduced me to our pastor, who is my spiritual father, he gave me this Jensen Franklin Shield of Faith CD. And that's when cars had CDs for all the kids out there. And I was driving in a car. I'd met her, and things were going phenomenal. I had the girl of my dreams. She's so hot. She's so beautiful, and she really loves me. And she has the coolest grandma ever. And I'll get into that later. I got a twofer. So I married her and her grandma. I'm not Mormon, but literally, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I never had a grandma growing up. My grandma was an alcoholic and just a spaz and never spoke English to me, and God rest her soul. And all the rest of my grandmas, like, I don't remember.
Right.
So with her, I was able to pour into her life and do that. So she gave me that. Not only that, she gave me a present, a female presence in my home for my kids. And so God, as we met, sure as could be, God's like, I'm going to bless you, but I'm going to strip you. And so he stripped me. And he started stripping me financially, so much to the point where she paid my child support, okay? She paid my rent. And for money that, I mean, she's been in the medical space for a long time. And so she had some money. And then we borrowed some money from her grandma. And it became this like, why God? So the day comes where I actually listen to the CD. And I'm listening to Jensen Franklin and about the fiery darts of the enemy. And you could have given me that a million times before, and I wouldn't understand what in the world any of that means. And I think as us men here, we can talk about the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation. We can talk about the fiery darts of the enemy and what that means figuratively and literally as examples in our life. And I am driving up Newport Coast to make a left to go to our condo. And I have the sunroof open in a car that I'm probably 30 days away from getting repoed. Later did get repoed. We'll go into that too. And I'm crying. Crying not because of what I'm hearing. I'm crying because as I'm hearing, I'm feeling the Lord's presence come upon me. And as I feel the Lord's presence come upon me, I look up to the stars, not the stars, the sky. And guys, this sounds unbelievable, but I kid you not. The clouds opened, the sun shined, and the warmth that I felt. And immediately when I pulled into the driveway, she was there, and I said, we're going to church Sunday.
That's cool.
And we never looked back. So not only did I find the girl of my dreams, I found the partner of my dreams that could walk the walk with me, which is super important.
Yeah.
Because she undergirded me when I needed her, and I undergird her, I think, when she needs me. Women are a little fickle when it comes to that, right? They don't want to tell you you're awesome.
Yeah.
So you just have to assume so. So I'm going to assume that I'm incredible in every way, shape, and form, right, to my wife.
If you say she's amazing and she's still here,
Yeah.
So you got by
She's
proximity.
stuck around. She's got a good life.
Yeah.
God has blessed me tremendously.
That's what I said.
Oh man.
No. All joking aside, finding Jesus was this. You know when you're a kid and you pray to God and your prayers are cute, so to speak. It's like, God, please have it be sunny, because all I wanted to do was play tennis. And my prayer was very simple. Don't let my mom die by name. Don't let my mom Debbie die. Don't let my dad Jack die. Don't let my dad Andy die. Don't let my stepmom die. Let there be no clouds, blue skies, sunshine, and wind at my back. That was my prayer as a kid, and I remember it to this day because I said it year after year after year, day after day after day. And as I grew up, like, I dated Jewish girls. So I got confused on, like, who Jesus was.
Yeah.
I thought Jesus was a messenger. Like, cool, he's a great guy. Like, he's the messenger for God. Like, there was a God, there was a spirit. It never made sense. It's all one.
Yeah.
And so my relationship with God when I got into AA was, I defined that I had a higher power. I defined that there was a God and he was for me, not against me. And it redefined my relationship of, he's not a punishment God. He is a ever-loving agape God with agape love. But I didn't quite equate it to Jesus. And so it wasn't until I started hearing the word and creating a space for a relationship with him. And then, dude, I saw him. Like, he was 40 feet tall, like in a tree. And I kid you not, like, on my life, I saw him like this. And what I did is I went and I grabbed my glasses because I thought I was tripping. I looked at the cigarette and I'm like, dude, what am I smoking? So I literally was like this. And it was the same with my glasses on, with my glasses off. And I'm like, I need to stop smoking. I need to, like, go get some rest because I think I'm tripping. And then she walks into my life. And again, retrospect, right?
Yeah.
I look at it and I go, okay, this is my relationship. And when it really started to culminate into he's my God and I'm his son was when I got married to my wife. And we had gone through so much in a short amount of time as a couple engaged that we were so prepared for what the pitfalls of marriage could be, you know, hypothetically in your ideal, the ideals of it.
Yeah.
And so prepared for, look, if we can get through that, we can get through this. And it's God never has appeared. I've never heard his voice since, but he talks to me through music. He talks to me through other people. Miracles are performed by other people. That's why I always say I am not self-made. I'm made by others. I always give honor to God in every single post that I do on Instagram because, dude, without him, like, I am nothing. You know, I look at my kids and they're a constant reminder of God's goodness and just the love that they have for me. My pastor does a wonderful job about saying the way that you look at your children is the way that God looks at you.
100%.
So when I look at my kids, talking about your question about the relationship, when did you know? It's not I knew and I got it. It's every single day I'm reminded that he's there.
Yep.
You know, I can't hear him, I can't see him, I can't touch him, but you know what? I can touch his children. I can touch them through how I act. How am I a good dude? How am I a good dad? How am I Jesus in me? How am I projecting that out? And do I get it right all the time? Bro.
No.
Like maybe 20% of the time. Right? That's still a winning percentage in my book.
Yeah.
And that could be because I'm quasi-narcissist. I don't know. But, you know, I try.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
what matters, though.
Yeah.
I think I know one of the big turnoffs for people with Christians, and we've all have met those Christians that, you know, you're so holier than thou, and you think you're so like almighty, and you're this and you're that, and it's like, bro, you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're messing up. You're a sinner. We are flawed.
Yeah.
And none of us are designed to be perfect.
Nope.
And if you think you are, you're missing every point of the word of God.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we were perfect, and we say this all the time, but if we were perfect and we knew all these things and we had the answers, there would be no need for a God because we would be equal to him. Like versus, no, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I try.
Yeah.
I try to be a good person. I try to study. I try to be in the Word. I try to act in a way that is obviously pleasing to the Lord.
Right.
But I'm going to fail and
Yeah.
I'm going to fall, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, for sure. And that is a ever, first and foremost, I don't think anywhere in Scripture it says God created an equal.
Yeah.
It never says I created Adam and Eve to be my equal. So to your point, that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, and we have seen those people that think they're holier than thou and the like, or use Christianity as the shield. That's not God. You ask a simple prayer, God, reveal what your purpose is for this. And he'll reveal it to you if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
And I think, I when I was beginning in Christianity, what I call a baby Christian, and I'm still a baby Christian, being 14 years deep now, is, I was one of those people like, okay, I'm now at this standard, right?
Yeah.
I'm sober. I have these principles. I'm above that. And, there's no better person to remind you that you're not than your wife.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. To be like, dude, are you serious? Like
Yeah.
you do this, 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 and this. It's like, you know what? I used to complain about that, but now I look at it and I'm like, she's pointing out things that are from God.
Yeah.
And she's awesome at that.
Yeah. Well, it takes that, like that's,
Oh, yeah.
we were, without my wife, man, there is no way. I don't care how much work I put in myself or how awesome I think I am or how good of a dad I think I am. Without her being that person to be able to like keep me in line, keep me in check, sometimes obviously a little harsher than I would like, right?
Yep.
But I need it sometimes. And I think she was the first person in my life that was able to actually do that. And it was very weird.
That you listen to.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the rest of them, if they try to say something, I'd be like, "Dude, the door's right there.
Yeah.
Like,
See
you can
ya.
go. You can go
Peace.
out." Yeah. So, it was that switch, like the similar to what you're saying is like she was the first girl. Well, when she found her own relationship with the Lord, I actually broke up with her because I was trying to get my life back on track, and I had kind of told her she didn't understand because I had a reputation for being a little man-ho, and so when I started dating
did
her, I
I.
was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna have sex with you." And she's like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Like, and then it instantly went to, "Is it me? Like, why are you not attracted to me?" And I was like, "No, it's actually fully the opposite. So I need you to get away from me." And and I tried to explain to her though, because she didn't understand that.
Yeah.
And she knew my past. Her mother definitely enlightened her to my past. I worked with her mom, and her mom saw me rotate girls like your shoes, right? Like, and I didn't hide it. It was honest. I wasn't ashamed. I don't regret it.
You did not hide it at all.
Yeah. See, thank you. I was very honest. I would do it in front of the other girls.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I was bad.
I was like that too. I mean, I'm not gonna compare, but I
Yeah.
completely where
Yeah,
I get it.
And so for me though, the weird thing for me though is, and Jordan and I have talked about this. I never stopped going to church throughout that time of my life. But when I look back at it now, I was just going through my version of PTSD, right?
Sure.
Like I came home and
Thank you for your service.
no, it's my old life. Now I drink coffee.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where like
he worked at the McDonald's on base is really all it was.
I hate this coffee.
right?
When I get out of here, I'm going to create hidden house coffee.
He worked at
know.
Starbucks in
Right.
Afghanistan and calls it
I
service.
wish,
No kidding.
dude.
Yeah. That's service. Doing God's work.
I'm totally kidding.
But dude, it was
see
it
the
was
cake
something
there.
so that I'm still discovering the power of to this day. I'm gonna be 39. I got out when I was 22, and now like versus before, I wouldn't really talk about it, right? I wouldn't talk about the things that you're going through, or because you're not tough, or you got to figure it out, or if I told you guys when I was 23 that I would wake up at night freaking out, like you're gonna be like, dude, you're so soft. Like, what is your problem? But the only ones that would understand it are the ones that went through it with you. But when you get back, they just basically, you get dropped it back into here, Southern California, right? And I just went through 2 combat deployments, and now I'm back home in Southern California with rich kids honking their horns at you. I made the mistake of trying to go to Saddleback College during that time. I should have taken a little bit of a break, but I didn't know, because I would justify and I would look, which is similar to what we still currently do as a people and as Christians and as men. You justify and you look at, oh, Jordan and Drew, they're a little behind me, so I'm good right now, right? Or I didn't go too far. I only drank 1 drink, so I'm good.
Yeah. And
going through all that, like, you just get dropped into modern day life, and you're like, oh, figure it out, right? And I became, which I'm thankful for it, but I became the guy for a lot of my buddies they would call, and I would have to talk them off the ledge or tell them to chill out. And, simultaneously I'm building Hidden House already, and having to act like I had everything put together. And, and I actually believed it. And then I would go out and I'd start drinking with the boys. It's just, I missed college, so now we're making up for it. I'm fighting in the streets, having guns pulled on me, and just stupid. And then I meet my now wife, and she's like, I know who you are. Like, I know what I signed up for. And then I went through all that whole thing, and then I had to break up with her, and then I found out she got saved, and we got back together after, not intentional. I had no intention of getting back together with her, but I'm saying all that to say is, sometimes, most of the time, God's plan is not our own, and we're not going to understand it. And she was with me through trying to figure it out, and we've been together for 14 years now, and she's seen the worst of me and the best of me. And every single day, it's still one of those things where you have to make that effort every single day to praise the Lord and to be, what you say you are. And I think a lot of people only see the you now, but they don't see the work that it takes to get to the you now.
No. I think a lot of people underestimate that, and thank you for that. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's. I think we can all share how our wives, they call them, they, being the world, says that our wives are our better half for a very specific reason, right? And it's true.
Yeah.
Because they bring out the best in us, and God willing, we bring out the best in them.
Yeah.
So I can definitely appreciate that, man. And yeah, share a lot of the similarities as to what you're saying.
A man who finds a wife finds a good thing.
I'm really happy my wife didn't see me at my worst. Because she'll ask the question sometimes, like, what were you like when you're drinking? I'm like, I was fantastic in my head.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is not the drinking. The problem is that the drink leads to me being at another party and there being cocaine, and then cocaine being to the beer, and then the beer being to the cocaine. You don't want to see that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, one of the things that make people gasp sometimes when they're like, why don't you drink? I'm like, I'm allergic. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I break out in handcuffs. And they're like, oh, you're that. And I'm like, yeah. And then it just goes away. And I love seeing people's reaction to that. But I thank God that she doesn't, and my kids never had to see that guy. Because that guy would lie, cheat, steal, manipulate to do whatever he could. And that son of a gun is still, deep down inside and wants to come out all the time. Yeah. But the thing that keeps me balanced is now I have a conscience.
Yeah.
Now Jesus is my conscience. Because I am well aware of right and wrong. And I think that did you guys feel, they talk about enlightenment, and I don't know that that's a Christian word, but I'm going to use it for illustrative purposes here. Do you guys find that, we teach our kids right from wrong. We're all dads, obviously. But when you are growing up, so to speak, and you're maturing as a man, don't you find it that the lessons are funny because you learn a new level of right versus a new level of wrong? Then you learn how to handle that new level of right, i.e. righteousness, to be closer to God versus the other. So you're tripping. You're like, okay, I used to, oh man, yeah, God's telling me something inside me. You shouldn't do that,
Yeah.
So
do
you guys find that?
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially as a dad. I would think, even now, there's moments where I don't even know how to react to some of the things my kids do, right? And when I think about
I talk
it,
about that all the time.
I would, before I became a dad, or even when I only had one in my daughter was 2 or 3, like it was like, oh yeah, this is easy, right? And now that I have 3 of them and 3 different personalities at 3 different age ranges and different emotions and how they receive and how they respond, like now I'm like, dude, I don't know. And so when I think something's right, I'm like, am I right or am I not?
I find that a lot, you know, of just letting go of ego of like, I'm the dad, I'm supposed to know everything, I'm supposed to be the leader.
Yeah.
You know, my wife should just follow me and I should be this like, you know, no emotion. This is the way it is and just do what I say and not as I do, right?
Right.
But I found when you were talking about there's things that you don't know how to respond to, I realized about 2 years ago when our only daughter turned 14, she's 16 now, I was like, bro, I now realize I can't parent you the same as my son.
Yeah.
Like I've never been a 14-year-old girl. I can't attach myself to the emotion that you have or the way that you think.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like a woman now. And I just can't do that. So there's been this definite disconnect of that. And I think, you know, as dads, I think the bigger issue with kids these days that I find is keeping your kids grounded in the faith. Right?
Yeah.
And not wandering. And that's my biggest concern. My 18-year-old like volunteers at church, is in the ministry, is in the sound ministry department, like goes early, shows up earlier than I do. I, like you, speak at church and am a leader in the church, and he just sticks with it, right? He's like the golden child. My daughter wants nothing to do with it. And I don't know if that was because I did it the same. I don't know. But, you know, I just hope that the boys, my younger ones, continue to follow in the faith.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that part of society is that disconnect of where they do things that we're like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a time. I mean, I grew up in the church. I mean, Ben did too, and like I know you told a little bit about that, and we've told my story here before. But like I still, like him, still called myself a Christian, still went to church on Sundays. But I remember like I was making active choices and like knowing what the right thing was and purposely going the wrong way.
Oh, for sure, dude.
And
Temptation got the best of you. Definitely.
yeah, but I think one of the best things that ever happened to me is there was a moment, and I'm actually speaking on Saturday, and I'm going to talk about this, but
Tomorrow.
there's a moment where I was in my early 20s, and I got my girlfriend pregnant, and my parents are awesome. Like I'm talking like they're just rad people. You know, neither of them got in any trouble. Went to Christian school their whole life, did all the right things, didn't sleep around, didn't do drugs, didn't drink. They were just like, they're like saints of humans.
Sure.
And I was like, well, part of me was like, well, that's impossible, so I'm going to go do my own thing. But I remember having to sit down with my dad and look him in the eye and tell him like, hey, I just actively went and did the exact opposite of everything you've taught me my whole life. And it's not because you like beat me and abused me or that you did anything to me. It was because I just chose to do it. Like you were a phenomenal dad, like, and a great example and one of my best friends. And I just actively chose to disobey. And now I'm not stuck, but now I have, you know, this is what happens. Like now I have my girlfriend pregnant. And so I remember telling him that, and I was just ready. I was ready for him to be like, you know, just full prodigal son status, going back to your dad, just for him to be like, you're the worst. How could you do this? You know, you're not my son anymore. I don't want to chat. I don't want to talk with you. I'm so disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed, kind of a thing. And he just was like, I love you, bud. You're going to be such a great dad. And just gave me a big hug. And I just sobbed, man. I just bawled like a baby. It was uncontrollable. I was like the whole like hiccupy cry. It was horrible.
The ugly cry.
The ugly cry. And honestly, man, that did more for my relationship with the Lord than anything has ever done before or since. And I told you my story. This tops a million other miracles where I should be dead. That's the one that stands out the most because I got to see like a living representation of God's love.
People. Yep. God works through other people.
And so like, not that you're asking for advice for your daughter that's not wanting to go.
Oh, I absolutely am. Please help.
But if you keep that mindset, that like, and I'm sure you are, because I can tell the kind of man you are, but that'll do more for her than any amount of lectures or talks or anything. And
Just
it was
be
like,
consistent.
and
Love.
be consistent. And I literally, there's
Ugh,
like,
so
there's a
hard
verse that
sometimes,
says,
Heck yeah.
there's a verse that says, train your kids up in the way of the Lord, and when they get older, they won't depart from you. And it's funny because I'm like, I wholeheartedly believe that, because like, even when I was actively trying to go the opposite direction, I swear the Lord had like a hold of my shirt the entire time.
Oh, of course.
And I
man.
look back and I'm like, dude, there's so many times where I should be dead, or I should be in jail, or like just dumb things. And his hand was there the entire time.
What would you say though? This just to throw this out there, because
Yeah.
not everyone believes what we do. What would you say though? Because yeah, I believe that verse to be true too, but it doesn't mean everyone's going to always come back to their faith, right? So how would you respond in that?
How do I respond to someone that doesn't?
Yeah, like if they're like I raised my kid and my hopefully they are believers and are good people, but if one of them just goes rogue and is an awful human being, like,
Yeah.
but you just told me that the Bible says this.
I know.
Like what is our answer to that?
My answer, to be honest, dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
Then that's fair.
And that's the thing. I'm like, if God's knowledge and his understanding is the Pacific Ocean and mine is a Coke can, I just got to understand that there's just some things that aren't going to fit in it.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I think too with what you're saying, they say that faith is the culmination of belief in something that is unseen, right? And I think what you have to have is faith. In my life, my journey, my everyday is about having faith, no matter what the world does to me. And my daughter is not going to be that rogue child. She has it in her. It's just been really difficult this year too, because she made a decision to live with her mom. So for me, that was like gut wrenching, right?
Yeah.
Because part of my story that I didn't tell you guys that I will now is, I had no idea I was getting a divorce, but no idea. My now ex-wife, left to San Francisco, and 2 months turned into 3 months in one day, and I was served paperwork 2 days before I was supposed to fly up, pick my family home, and bring them back to Newport. And so I was fighting unfairly while sending all my money up there.
Yeah.
So I had to go and visit my kids in San Francisco every weekend, every other weekend, whenever I could, right? And when I got behind on support, it was, one of those things where I kept tithing, because that was part of it. Continue to tithe to the church and believe that it will change, and our circumstances changed. My point to that is that relationship that I have, because the prophecies were given to us that, hey, you will have the kids. And I won custody of the kids later on, after 7 years, of course. But for 7 years, I didn't see my kids every day. I saw them every other weekend. I was the weekend dad. We were the weekend parents, traveling up to San Francisco 3 o'clock in the morning, picking them up at noon and driving all the way back here.
Dang.
Then I would drive them back home and fly back home, right?
Crazy.
So if you had me do that today, I was like, how did we do that?
Yeah.
But why it hurt so much is because I missed so much of her life in the beginning that I wanted to have these latter years be better than the former years. And so for me, I have to deal with that this is God's plan. I have to deal with everything that comes along with it.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to articulate that the way that it is, but I feel like I'm behind as a dad. Like I missed out on so much of that I get to do now with our children, which is roughhouse with them every single night.
Yeah.
Take my kids to school, pick them up from school, see them every night for dinner. Like those are my, things that the joy of my life. And she's still close. She's in Irvine too, right down the street, but it's just this distance. So it's been a really interesting year. So any advice that you guys are saying is awesome, because you guys have daughters too. So, yeah.
My daughter has broken me more times than I can count. I've told so many stories too, where I've just like, because she's young, but she just does stuff, and I just don't know how to parent it. There's literally, there was one moment where she just done so many she's little, right? So many naughty things. And I just was
love
like,
that word.
I just
Naughty.
like- yeah. I just was like, I just gave her a hug.
Yeah.
I literally was like,
That's all you could do.
this is not in any parenting manual.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no,
bro.
there's no, and I'm gonna be honest, there was no verse I was gonna be able to pick up
No.
to solve that. When you look at her and you go, you know, if you don't behave, Santa's gonna put you on the naughty list. And she goes, good, I like the naughty list. And you're just like, well,
Those are the ones she's going to be, dude, really, really
she's,
successful.
that's and I tell everyone that. I'm like, she's gonna
The
be
sass is a good thing.
she's going to be
when it's not.
so successful, and I don't want to
Yeah.
parrot it out of her. And it's also the thing that made me fall in love with my wife because she's the same exact way.
Oh,
But
as I'm looking at my wife, 100%.
Yeah.
My wife has the most sass ever.
Oh, that
the
attitude-
sweetest, most darling woman ever. But like 7 feet tall beast.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, going back to daughter thing, bro, my daughter, she's 7 and she's a what would you relate Cash to? Like, her name's Cash.
This is the dopest name ever.
It's pretty cool.
She's the
She's-
raddest kid.
I'm sure. Look at her mom and dad, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, the odd parenting, not knowing what to do. She's only 7, but she acts as if she's like an 11
yeah,
year old,
dude.
right? But
Yeah.
not acts, like mental level.
Yeah.
Like her
Her cognitive reasoning is just through the roof.
it's out of
Yeah.
this
That's
planet.
pretty cool, dude.
It's
She's advanced,
insane.
definitely.
But it's so hard to parent right now because my wife and I are kind of just at this point where you don't know how to. Sometimes I forget she's a 7-year-old little girl.
Oh, of course, dude.
Because of the way she can talk to you
Right.
and respond to you and
Hold a conversation.
Yeah, or you give her a problem to solve and she'll figure it out at a level that a 7-year-old normally wouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's around the other 7-year-olds and some of them are not even close to her.
Oh, yeah.
Some are, but some are, they're not even in the same like realm. But we're having a really difficult time with her. More me right now because I feel like, you know, I'm the one that has to come in when I'm at home, or right before you guys all got here, I was on the call with my wife because she was like,
You got to fix it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like, I'm gonna have dad call you.
Yeah.
And my wife doesn't do that normally, but we're just trying everything we can out.
can. I
And so
remember
I'm just
that
like the-
exploratory
yeah. So I'm just like the bad
explorative
guy right
phase.
now to her, right?
Yeah, dude.
And so actually after this, I'm gonna pick her up because I need some time with her. She's really pissed off today because they were supposed to go to the beach, and when she has something in her head,
Oh, yeah.
and then
My daughter's the same, dude.
dude, it's crazy. But she, you know, and she's mad at my 2 boys because they're sick, and so that's why they didn't go to the beach.
That's Hudson.
And so she's like,
She's blaming them.
yeah, she's yelling at him. My wife sent me a video. She's yelling at him,
She's,
like,
dude, boss baby.
seriously, like just ripping on them for being sick. They're 5 and 3, and she's
They're
sitting
like,
there yelling,
"What?"
"It's because you don't want to clean your toys. Is why we're not going." Like all this stuff.
no.
And so I was like, "Well, why don't I pick all of you up and we'll go get Froyo?" And she's like, "No." They don't deserve to go because the reason we're not at the beach is because of them. And I was like, goodness great, what do I do? Like, but anyway, like the daughter parenting at my sons is it's easier.
Dude, boys are so easy.
You know, I tell them,
they're like your best friends, bro.
yeah, and I tell
Little
them what to do
dudes.
and they don't do it.
Yeah.
And so they get a consequence.
Oh, for sure.
And then it's done.
yeah.
This girl though, it's like she's very similar to his daughter, where it's like you can do whatever, man. You can take her bike away, or they're not iPad kids, so like we don't have games and stuff like that. We're not taking that away, right? We don't even have those. So it's like I threaten her with she loves doing arts and crafts. She's got to just be busy. She's like, I call her a German Shepherd. She's like a working dog.
I understand.
And so we'll
It's got to be useful.
yeah, so we'll do little things like that as like trying to see if this will work. And it's like I'll take her bracelet making things away. She's been making bracelets to sell to people.
Dope.
And so I'll take that away. And she's like, good, I don't need to make money. You pay for everything. I'm like, dude.
It sounds familiar, right?
like what do you
that
do to
sounds
that?
so familiar. You guys have made me feel so much better about like I'm not alone. I literally felt alone, you know?
Yeah, no. And
Thank you.
We're seeing it more and more and more. And that's one of the things that we could do this conversation all day, and I want to be respectful to time, but like we can do this
I have
all
time.
day. And it's like, dude, it's
I'll
one
speak
of
for
those
my wife. She has time.
perfect.
I'm her ride, so she's got time.
She's not going anywhere.
It's just
Sorry, babe. I love you. I'm going to get so punished when we're done here.
Hey, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things though where I think what we've discovered more through every conversation that we've had in this room, in the room next door, is that we are all going through so many of the same things. And it's relative. I speak about relativity a lot. And you said something recently where it's like, relativity with your finances, right? Like right now, 16 years into my business, I don't think I should be where I should be at. You know, whether it's because I keep getting sued or whatever, right? The cases are always there. And then I go back to a pity party for myself. And I'm like, God, I've been diligent. I'm serving. I'm tithing. I will give you I don't care. I'll give anybody anything. He knows that. Like, I don't care about things. And so I'm like, okay, like if I don't care about these things, then why don't I have things? Or, you know, I'm tithing more than I should be tithing because it's not my money anyways. Like if I lost everything today, I would genuinely be okay with it. And I can't say that a few years ago. I would have been pissed. Versus now I'm like, obviously, yeah, I'd be a little upset, but like, whatever, figure it out, right?
It's funny you say that, man. Some of the happiest times that my wife and I have ever had when we had nothing but each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
And so I think the things, and it's the frustration I think in today's marriages too, is where you have, God blesses you more, you tithe more, your expectations go up, more things distract from who you really are, right? As a couple. And, you know, you have my wife, for instance, fights for my attention. She'll fight for, hey, I'm more important than this and that. And, you know, and she'll always refer back to, you know, I loved it when we had nothing not because we had nothing, but because we had each other.
Yeah.
And so trying to find your way back with that, I think, is that letting go season 2.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, like I would be perfectly okay with that. Just because we get to a point, I think, where the noise gets exhausting.
For sure.
Then you're like, dude, I'm so over the suits.
Yeah.
I'm so over hearing the drama. I'm so over. I mean, there's times too where I'll like fantasize, like, dude, if I was broke and I could start all over and have that drive, like, great.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't have to, because I look at it and I go, that'd be
Yeah.
it's a scary thing to look down the hill,
Right.
then look up the hill.
Yeah.
So I totally know where you're coming from. But my main goal now is to get back to in my marriage, particularly because that's what's given me my greatest blessings, is how do I get back to that place with my daughter, with my wife, to where it's you feel that you are the priority. And it's also, I think, for husbands, you guys find that, you know, I think when we get married, we think we're more important, right? And the divine priority, God, wife, kids. I never got that until honestly, like 2 years ago, maybe this year, where it was like wife has to be first. It was always God, kids, work, you know, all is one.
Yeah.
And then I started to separate that. And as soon as I did, dude, like, honestly, what happened is God just blessed us. He's like, okay, you said it. Now live it. Now you're going to get tested. And if you pass the test, which is show up every day, right, and just be, then I'm going to continue to bless you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. You know, it's really got to be God, wife, and then everything else underneath it.
very difficult.
And
It is.
and that's so, like, one, that's a difficult statement. Like, coming to that realization afterward, that when you come to it, you go, oh, duh. That makes sense.
Without a doubt.
But then actually executing on it is a whole other level, right? Because men, usually what we do is we like to show affection in the way that we like to receive affection. Or, like, at least for me personally, I'm like, babe, what do you mean? I am putting you first. I'm working my butt off so you have money to do
Oh,
it.
totally.
And she's
I
like,
verbatim said that.
and she's like, wrong answer.
I said
Try
that,
again.
like, 2
I
days
mean,
ago.
and even the
Usually.
therapist
Yeah.
is like, that's not what she's saying. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well,
Like, what do you mean?
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and there's this. She's like, you know, again, we've been the lowest of low.
Yeah. As
And
if we.
And she's like, man, yeah, but man, we were with each other every single day. We got to spend quality time together.
Totally.
Now you come home, that we put the kids down, you bust back out your laptop and go back to work, and I'm like, yeah, because this, you know, like,
Look at all I've done.
guess what you get to go do tomorrow?
Don't you love your life?
Buy a coffee, you know?
Yeah.
And I've missed the mark so many times. And she's like, I don't want that. I just want some time with you.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And
I find it confusing sometimes when I hear that because I'm like,
very
what-
confusing.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have day dates, we do this. Like, I'm constantly, you know, God, she's impatient but patient.
Yeah.
Right? She's like the most patient person I know.
I think that's every wife.
Yeah.
dude.
But like it's one of those things where it's just this communication.
Yeah.
You know, of like, okay, I have to hear your headspace of where you're coming from so that I completely understand, because where I'm coming from, it means something different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I talk about that. I'm like, I tell people all the time, like, when you get married, your wife's speaking one language, and then you're speaking the other language, and you're trying to communicate, and it's like English and Spanish, man. And it's like you have to find that common language all the time. So I'm like, I find myself constantly to my wife, like, especially if we have an argument, I go, okay, all right, pretend I'm an idiot. Say that again, but in a different way so that I can maybe comprehend what you were trying to say, because I'm clearly not getting it. And then she'll like, and then there's now times too where I'm like, okay, when I said this is not what I meant. What I'm trying to explain is X, Y, and Z. And then now what we've come to find is that we know these words in each other's vocabulary that I can now say like, hey, like, or she's like, hey, I need more attention. It just means like, okay, attention, you just want quality time. You want me to be near you, which means that you want me to have focus on whatever we're doing. So that means when we're watching a movie together, you don't want me to be on my phone, even though we're both watching a movie, which is a screen. So I don't know what the difference is between me watching one screen and another screen sitting next to you, but there is a difference apparently. So chuck my phone across the room, and it's like, I was like, okay, now we're both watching the same screen.
Fine.
Yeah.
We're both watching the same screen, but yeah, no, but it's learning that, because it's, I laugh because sometimes I do it like, fine, and I just chuck my phone. And other times I'm like, well, that's not what she means either. She wants me to want to do it. So it's setting my phone down in another room on silent.
Wanting to want to do it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
It is a thing.
Because it's like, I want you to want to do it. You're like, but I don't really want to do it. So how do I show you that I want to do it, but
Sometimes
still
we
be
just gotta-
divinely aligned where I'm not like manipulating you, right?
Sometimes we just gotta act like we want to do it.
Yeah.
Some, you know,
You gotta
some things
fake
are
it till you make it,
some
right?
things
Yeah,
are left
smile
better
while you're
unsaid.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be like, this is so awesome. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm going to get 15 text messages. There's like a bunch of money on the line. I need to be that.
We have one more
Dude.
microphone. Maybe we should just have you come in. We'll just turn it on.
You know, one thing my wife does now, and it became a joke, but it's real for me now. I think you've heard me say it. You have heard me say it. But she'll, and I think this is going to resonate with you really well, and probably you too. But when I'm in in one of those modes, right, where we have a lot of things going on.
Sure.
And what I have learned that I need to do more efficiently, and I have been working at this for the last couple of years, is when I have something that's genuinely like important.
Yeah.
Right. Not like I can get to it, but like one of the suit things. Like,
Yeah.
I tell her, hey, I'm waiting for a call or I'm waiting for a text. Like, if you see me on my phone, like, genuinely just ask me, like, is that what you're doing? Because some of the time it's not. I'm just aimlessly scrolling on Instagram, right? And so that has really helped, like, in those seasons where we're really just busy. But the second part is she will sometimes be like, hey, like, I love that you're providing for us and you're doing all these things and you're doing all these things for so many people, but you give everybody your best every day, all day long. And then you come home and you're giving us your leftover.
Oh, bro, that is like, has your wife said that too?
Oh, yeah.
Now I don't feel alone.
No.
This has been a miracle today that
Like-
God has put you guys in front of
Yeah.
me, because I have felt so alone in that. Like, I am unique with that.
Yeah. No,
Because I
she says
truly
it to me,
feel
yeah.
like, dude, I'm doing my best so that you can get my best, because you don't want to see that guy that's out there in the world clawing, scratching, kicking, beating the crap out of, what I got to do, and like, refusing to let the enemy come in.
Yeah.
And then coming home and getting the guy that's like calm and cool. And, like, I'm pretty calm all the time with my kids. And like, she's the playful one and the goofball. And like, when I get goofy, I get embarrassed because I think she's judging me, because she's, Filipinos are on a whole different level of goofy. Bro.
Yeah.
That's not a racist thing. I am Filipino, part Filipino, but she's full blood. But yeah, I needed to hear that.
Dude, it's so true. And the first couple times she said it to me, it was more of an ego check to myself, because I wanted to respond. I did.
Oh, I
respond in that and be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I'm
right
in
now?"
therapy because of my responses.
Dude, seriously,
Yeah.
For
But
sure.
it's so real, and I think a lot of men will struggle with this, and we will always struggle with this, because it's like, you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. We live in arguably one of the most expensive places in the world,
For real.
and we have a pretty nice lifestyle,
Right.
And we're business owners, which means no one is going to do the things that I need to get done
Other than you.
unless I'm doing them.
100%.
And so, but there are times where I take advantage of that, right? So I am scrolling on my phone, or I am just doing whatever I'm doing, and I should be present. And so for me, it was more of like a, hey, like, if you say that you're doing these things and you get on this podcast and you talk about intentionality,
Do it.
and then you come home and you're not doing it, like, I need her to do that to me. And for a while, like I said, the first like few times, it was more of like I had to like stop myself from responding in that moment because I was wrong and she was right. But in the moment, my ego and my pride wanted to come out and be like, are you kidding me? You wouldn't even have that phone if it wasn't for me type mentality.
Oh, dude.
You know?
The thoughts we have.
Yeah.
Right. Only God knows. Thank you, Lord, that we don't verbalize those or have Tourette's to where, you know, it comes out.
Just blurt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I do a lot of the time. I'm a pretty blunt person.
I am, but I get called, you know, something else.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. And then I'm like scrolling my phone, you know, while I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, God, why did I say that? You're such an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you should have said this. That would have been dope. And then, you know, like I have these voices, like literally.
I replay the whole
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh, I would have burned
I
her.
told
Like, dude,
you.
this would have been great. Like, I play this out in my whole mind, and then what flashes in front of me is like my wife would have stalked me right now.
Oh yeah,
Right?
100%.
Like, dude, and she hits hard, bro.
Yeah, my wife's full-blooded Italian.
Mine's
I was like,
Mexican.
Oh, she's fiery.
Oh, dude, I just the things,
Your wife too?
She's Mexican.
The things
Oh,
that,
dude.
I mean,
yeah,
she's even
Mexican
she's
Latinas
crazy.
are the
She's crazy.
the
She is
gnarliest, bro.
crazy.
Yeah.
They'll
I
cut
tell her
your,
all the
you
time,
know, off.
She threatens that
Yeah,
sometimes.
bro. She
my wife
told-
has told me she would cut it off and do Godfather me and put it in the bed next to
Bro,
me.
this
So
is-
I'm like, yeah, never mind.
This is check this out. This is the best thing. We're out at dinner, or I forget where it was, and she's like, you know, how wives bond and they talk, and they're like, oh, well, how would you kill your husband? Right?
Yeah.
That sounded wrong. That's not like an everyday conversation. Like, let's go on a double date and talk about how we're
Yeah.
gonna murder our spouses.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
Do you listen to read like the murder mystery
Oh,
books?
dude, she's
into
like
this?
constantly
Oh
watching.
yeah, my wife reads all those books. I was
Yeah.
like, that's just a how-to to bury you, me. That's really what I think you're reading.
So she had the most evil genius plan ever, right? And this isn't to give anybody clues out there, but she's like, what I would do is I would freeze a knife. Like, I would make an ice pick out of ice so hard. And then what I would do is I would murder you, like flat out, face to face, right? Or cut your thing off.
Yeah.
And then I would get rid of it because the weapon would melt. And I'm like, oh, that's genius.
So good.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm like, bro, you thought of that? Like, either I'm winning
That's
or I'm
solid.
losing this in marriage. Like, how does this work, right? But when she
keeps us
said
in
that,
check,
I was like, oh, I thought I was smart. That's
Yeah.
like a whole other level. Like, she thought about like where she was gonna dump it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's true. Like, you would just leave it there and it would melt. All right,
Oh my
let's not piss off our
goodness.
wife.
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
That much.
Yeah.
That much. Oh, dude.
It keeps us in check is really what it does.
It's so
It
true.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
A healthy amount of fear of your wife is, you know,
I'm already fearful of my daughter, and she's
Solid.
only 7.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I have
she's
two.
terrifying.
It's the daughter
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
wife for sure.
He has 3 now.
Yeah.
dude, my girls.
I think you're gonna. He just comes off. He has that vibe, right? Where it's like your daughters. I have a feeling are gonna be like all about you.
I don't. Yeah, I hope so.
And
I don't
Jordan
know.
is a
I was
fantastic dad.
I was just saying the other day, like I had
I need
this
to talk more
moment.
about dad.
Yeah.
I had
dadding
this
with you.
moment. She
Both
came.
of you.
She came. She was doing a VBS. My oldest daughter.
Okay.
She's 4, going on
Oh,
14.
he was talking about this Wednesday.
14, right? And it's crazy hair day. So she has the most beautiful, like curly Italian, because I'm Hispanic. So she's got this Italian Hispanic perfect,
Bro,
like,
you're light skinned for a Hispanic.
dude, I am. She's got this olive skin. Like she just tans beautifully. She's got this beautiful hair.
right.
And she's got this like sparkle stuff in her hair. And she came upstairs and she's wearing her 2 favorite items in the world right now: a jean skirt
Dope.
and her bathing suit top, which is a bikini, right?
Oh.
And she's 5. She doesn't know better. She's a 4-year-old kid. She's just picking her 2 favorite items. And she walks up the stairs, and I look at my wife. I goes, "Why does it look like our daughter's going to Coachella?" And I was like, "I'm effed."
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was the most real moment of my life where I don't cuss very often. I said the F word to my wife. I was like, "We are effed." I was like, This is not. She's 4. Add a 1 in front of that, and at 14, I'm in so much trouble.
And she's sassy, dude.
And she's just got attitude. And
she
I
does.
always joke around. I'm like, God bless the man that falls in love with her, because I'm not gonna have to worry about her. I have to worry about him. But I was just like,
That's perspective. That's a great attitude.
Yeah.
yeah,
is.
I really like it. It was funny because my father-in-law was kind of the same way when I asked him. I was like, hey, like, I'd love to marry your daughter. And he goes, well, you know what you're getting yourself into.
You sure, bro?
And I was like,
God bless you, kid.
yeah, there was no, yeah, because you're always scared no matter
Yeah.
what. I already knew the answer. Him and I are close, and he knew it was coming, but he was like, good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like your problem
and
now.
I was like, all right, well, good luck to the man that falls in love with her, because he's got it cut out for him. But she's just, I mean, she's amazing. She's my little sweetheart. She's just next level. She's doing all sorts of crazy things right now. Like the other day, I'm on a kid tangent. She stole from VBS.
She did?
Yeah, she's a little klepto, dude. She's been stealing things from my wife and like hiding them throughout the house. And there's just no
It's
amount.
funny, but not. At that age, it's funny. At 16, it's
Yeah.
not.
There's just no amount of
Or a 10.
punishment that will stop it, because she just doesn't care. Just
Yeah.
does it, like spankings, timeouts. The only thing that seems to have worked lately is I take away her favorite bathing suit, and then that she just full blown meltdown, and then everyone's miserable the whole day. But she stole from the church, and and my wife calls me and tells me, and I get on the phone and I'm like, okay, well, you know what you got to do, right, babe? I was like, tomorrow we're gonna go to VBS. You're gonna go up to the teacher. You're gonna tell them that you stole it, and you're gonna hand it back to them, and you're gonna say you're sorry. And I was like, I just can't. Me and my wife all day long. She's like, I just can't believe it. Like, what are we gonna do? This is so embarrassing. And I was like, I don't know, man. Clearly got it from your side, you know, like, right? And I love teasing my wife. I was
Yeah.
like, clearly got it from your side,
Right.
Because she does. She looks a lot like me. Has my wife's personality, just spicy. Called my mom later that day. Just happened to be on the phone with her, and I was like, Mom, you're never gonna guess what Harper did. She stole from church. She goes, oh, that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, you don't remember? And I was like, remember what? She's like, you don't remember when you stole from that store and Dad made you go back and tell the store owner that you stole a
That was
G.I.
my
Joe
thing,
from them?
dude.
And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
just like the instant
Yeah.
it like flooded back.
That was my thing as a kid, right? Was stealing from my parents. Like, I thought, like, found money in the dryer was, like, mine.
That's free.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a gift from God.
Yeah.
And then when they asked me, they're like, did you find money? I'm like, no.
No.
Well, why are all your friends like stuffed with pizza? Because I would like find it, right? My dad would leave cash in, and it would be like $60.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
generous.
So I'd hit up all my boys, and I'm like, get on the bikes, the BMXs. We're gonna go ride today, and I'm gonna take you all out. So I'd go to like Northwood Pizza right down the street, and then they would ask me, and it was lying, right?
Yeah.
So there was like stealing and lying.
Yeah.
You know, the two things. So I definitely can relate. to
Yeah.
that.
And she sticks with her lie, man. I got to give it to her. Like, at
Conviction.
this point now, like, I'm not sure, because I don't want to punish her if she didn't do it. But now I'm not sure if she did or didn't, because she has like this grin across her face that definitely says, yeah, I'm lying to you. But also, I didn't see her do it. So I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want to. You also don't
yeah.
want to like predetermine, like, hey, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Right. You're lying. Yeah, we struggled with
Right.
our daughter with candy on that.
oh, yeah, that's another one. She still steals candy and hides it under her
Bro,
bed.
it was like a backpack full of wrappers. We're like,
Yeah.
did you eat these? No. Who did?
That was my wife yesterday.
I don't know how they got there.
She found her
Or-
backpack, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, see? Parenting
Anyway.
and man stuff.
So
we all
off
go through
topic.
it. But
We all
no,
do.
it's on topic because we all are going
Yeah,
through it.
and kind of bring it all back. But like, one thing that we've noticed through this is we've had these conversations, and almost every guest goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm not alone." And it's like, most men, we don't get to have these conversations, and so they don't know. But we're all going through relatively the same thing, almost all of us. And if we like actually had that conversation more often, there'd be so much more of this whole like, oh, thank goodness. Because as men, we just have the weight of the world on our shoulders. We really do, right? Women do too. It's just different.
It's different.
Right? It's just different.
Yeah.
We have the weight of the world on our shoulders, and women usually are able to communicate and figure out like, oh, we're all going through the same thing. Guys don't. We just run in a silo, and then you just go like, I'm just a failure of a man. I'm just a failure of a human. And, and that's what leads to like these crazy statistics of men taking their life or leaving their families or all these different things where they're just like, we gotta find a way to be better about not doing these things alone. And
Well, it also goes to adding back to
the faith component.
not just the faith component, but we're living in a time where more now than ever, being too much of a man is not good. Being not a man is, you don't even know what that is anymore. Toxic masculinity versus just being masculine. Like we're living in a just a chaotic world that tells us like this, like
Judges
literally,
us.
yeah. Society tells you that you're too manly or you're not enough man, or if you're too masculine, now you hate women all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait a second.
did that
no,
come from?
We are built different. We are designed different. God's intention was for us to be different.
Right.
And so like you have all these things and it just doesn't help. Right. And now social media and the keeping up, right? Like, or I should be this, the comparisons and all those other things. But I know one thing to be true, and no one else can convince me otherwise, is like the only thing that I have the answer to is knowing that like my salvation is in Jesus.
Yeah.
And I find myself leaning on that more and more and more and more, no matter what the circumstance or the position I'm in. It's just more like, all right, that I know to be true, and that's not going to ever change.
Yeah. It's, you nailed it, dude. 100%. You know, and I think you're right too about, we need more of this. You know, I mean, I have really, really close friends and mentors, and we'll have one-on-one conversation, sure, like you guys have. But in a group atmosphere to the public and this and that, you know, it's not spoken about enough. And I do feel what you're saying, the weight of your shoulders. I mean, just the other day, I was like, oh my God, there's so much I have to do. There's so much pressure on me, but I have to get home and I have to pretend like what's going on between us isn't bugging me because I got to stay focused. Like to be able to have the platform or know that everybody's, just the idea of knowing that everybody's kind of going through the same thing, because you always want to look for similarities than differences in society. And I think that's what society stopped doing is they started looking, as you pointed out, for differences versus similarities.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think what you guys are doing here is bringing that similarity to the forefront. And I mean, I couldn't be more honored to be sitting here talking to you guys. But now we're going to have this talk every time we're at the gym.
Oh, dude,
Right?
100%.
Yeah. And Kevin's gonna get even more mad.
Yeah.
He already gets mad at me.
He already gets mad at us for sure.
Today.
But yet he's the most chattiest dude ever, bro.
Exactly.
Like he'll start the conversation and be like, "You're talking too much." It's like, dude, do you want to talk at me or to me? Like, what's the deal, bro?
He does it all the time.
He's chatty,
Dude.
He's like, what are you up to today? I didn't say talk, bro. You got to work.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's weird, right?
You're here to work. I'm like, you asked me a question.
Yeah, and then,
oh, man.
Or he'll introduce you, which he's like one of the best
Great
connectors,
connector,
right?
yeah.
He'll be like, hey, man,
arguably
here,
one
meet
of the
Drew.
best human beings alive.
And then you'll talk, and then he'll come back. Why are you guys talking? You just introduced us.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, but I want to wrap up.
Yeah.
Question. Your
Oh.
question. You always do it, dude. I'm letting you do it. I don't want to steal your thunder. I won't hear the end of it.
Give me the question.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. If I don't let him ask the question, when you leave, he'll be like, wow, Ben, thanks. Thanks for
Oh.
stealing my one thing.
So now that we put that out there,
This guy.
let's
This
go
guy,
ahead and
look,
have you.
You Starbucks,
Yes.
Afghanistan, saying that you've been in combat.
How dare
Marine. All right.
Hit me. What do you got?
Well, actually, yeah, I do. We're just gonna go to the advice one.
Sure.
But like, you have older boys now.
Yes.
What is the one bit of advice that you've either given them, or you wish that or you're thinking about giving them in the future about what it means to be a good man?
Oh, man. The advice that I've given our son, Max, to be a good man is more not so much like conversations where it's like, hey, son, take my advice. It's more a relationship of, hey, dude, here's the mistake I made. I don't want you to make. Don't do what I did. And here's what happened when I did it. And it's all a matter of like who your kid is. But it's also, I think my son has witnessed me showing up, has witnessed me loving, has witnessed me go through specific things and the way that I love my wife and the way that I love them and the affection that I pour on, that it's kids pick up more by how you behave than what you say. And so my best advice would be, if you want your kids to turn out great, be as your brand is, be a good dad and be a good dude, you know? And obviously have your priorities right. God, love your wife the way that you're supposed to love your wife. And love your kids with everything that you are, you know? The thing that I want to tell him when he goes older, I don't know. You know, I want, he's always been that kid, like with swimming, I just threw him in the pool. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And he did. And then I taught him basics. Driving, he drove, he had a couple lessons. I'm like, go on the freeway. Figured it out. Water polo, never played water polo before. I threw him back in. He's that kid. I think every individual is different, but for him, I want him to go and learn as he goes, like we did, you know, and come back and say, Dad, what happens here? Because there's nothing that I think that our kids can go through that we haven't been through. Yeah. With the exception of our daughters who, you know, have menstrual cycles, blah, 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 blah. I don't even want to talk about that when you guys get to that level. Just wait.
I don't want, nope.
My shock,
Nope.
bro.
Yeah.
I was like, she what?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Can we call a doctor?
Yeah. like, no, back it up, dude. Go back in there. Yeah. Like, no.
I'm out.
Yeah. Anyways, I digress. So, it is just be like, look, man, go through, be a good dude, be a good human being, and be who you are. And you know, if you make mistakes, make them. Yeah. You know, like drive fast, take chances, take the precautionary measures to understand what consequences are, and then as life comes at you, I'm here for you. And I think the best advice that I would like to give them is no matter what, no matter where you're at in the world or no matter where I'm at in the world, I will always be your dad first, and I will always be your friend second. And with that, I will always be there for you. That's it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you're telling him, don't be afraid to make the mistakes. I think a lot of parents try to shelter from that.
Sure.
And we see how that usually ends up, right?
Yeah.
Pastor kids are usually like
Oh,
like a
bro, they're
target
the
of that.
worst.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean,
but-
I've had pastors' sons that have passed away. God rest their souls.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's because they've been taught to not make those mistakes or to, again, be holier than thou. And obviously I want my kids to learn that, but I also want my kids to learn that it's okay to mess up. Like I mess up and I mess up often.
Dude,
and that's okay.
Look at the disciples.
Exactly.
You know, God chose not the best and not the worst.
Yeah.
But he chose the ones that he knew that he could rely on, right? That could create change based upon who they were to who they became. Paul is a perfect example of that. I mean, like you said, man, that's just, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Someone was telling me the other day, they're like, it's so awesome. There's this part in the Bible where they just witnessed this huge miracle, right? And there's just like this whole awesome, like just God's awesome. And then they're on the road walking, like just right after that. And you think they'd be talking about how awesome God is, but they're all talking about like, hey, who do you think is the best one of us? And it was like, what?
Yeah.
like, bro, you guys are missing the whole freaking point. And I'm like, I have hope. If those 12 knuckleheads, if he picked those 12 knuckleheads to walk with him every single day, like I have hope. Yeah. Because they miss the mark constantly. And that's all right, man. That's just part of being a dad, being a follower of Christ, being a husband, being a father, that like we're going to try our best. We're going to fall flat on our face a lot. But then we're just going to pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and keep going.
Yeah, and I think the successful parents are the ones that realize, like, I can dust off.
Yeah.
And my kids saw me get back up.
Yeah.
For my stepdad, who's my best friend, I was saying just real quick, one of his greatest attributes is I saw them have everything and lose everything and get back up like nothing and like, let's go get it.
Yeah.
And my mom support him in her way. Yeah. And my dad be like, thank you for believing in me, and them, you know, fight and struggle to get back and then have even more.
Yeah. Yep.
That, as a parent, whether it be something insignificant or overcoming your daughter lambasting your brothers as it's their fault, or your daughter taking from the church, like those little challenges, how we shine as an example to them and how we handle that, I think have more of an impression than anything else. As a son now, and my dad being the age that he is, my greatest way to honor him is to tell him, you mattered, and what you did and how you treated me when I was out there doing that, and I stole from you and I did this, matters to me. And that molded me to who I am today. And that's honoring. And I think that's where God wants us, as part of the good dude, good dad. Like, he wants us to be in that space of like honoring him, but also honoring the people that are heavenly parents, or our earthly parents, and like the examples that they set and the lessons that we carry forward, which create the legacy, I think, for our families.
Man,
We're ending right there.
that's a great way to end it.
Thank you for your time.
No, bro, this has been freaking amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is like a therapy session. Thanks,
Dude,
babe, for coming along.
I know.
Yeah.
If people are trying to find you, like on Instagram or anything like that, where's the best place to find you?
You can find me online. You can Google Drew D'Angelo, D'_ANGELO, or you can find me at Instagram at Drew D'Angelo. You can reach out to me via email, phone number, what have you, or just give me a follow and I'll make sure we follow you back.
Jordan will link everything, but we always like to just say it for not
If they're
very many
just
people
listening.
watch podcasts. But yeah, so thank you again.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love this. And the best part about how we do this, you can come back on anytime you want.
Yeah.
And we can
I
talk
would love
about
to.
any section of things.
I wanna. You guys have something. I've been on quite a few podcasts, but you guys have something unique, wouldn't you say, babe? Yeah.
We have a hot room.
Yeah,
That
well,
makes you
no,
feel
but
like you're gonna-
it's the energy, dude. Like, I've been on some pretty big podcasts, and I can tell you that I'm going to do everything I can to bring focal point to you and what you guys do.
Oh, thank you.
100%. Like, you have my commitment on that, and I would love to come back. Not only that, I see you guys 3 days a week at the gym.
yeah.
But
There you go.
I feel like we're closer now.
Yeah,
100%.
Like, brothers in Christ. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's, dude, the coolest part about there's a lot of cool parts, but one of the coolest parts about this is that there's so many times where we walk in with either people that Ben have known for a while, or like people that I have known for a while, or people that we just meet that we've been told like, hey, you need to have this person on, and you walk in and we go from like strangers to like you walk out like close friends,
Yeah,
and then
man.
there's been other times where we bring on like good friends that you've known for a while or I've known for a while, and then we hear their story. I'm like, dude, I never knew anything about that. And it's just this really awesome connection of a friendship that happens when we leave. And it's like just from these shared stories.
I love this, man.
feel like
Thank
we're
you guys so
Close
much.
to 90. I'm gonna say 98% of the guests we've had on, we still talk to.
Oh yeah.
That was sorry, it's just truth. There's the
I got
2%
you.
that. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they ghosted us. I mean, there's something,
That's
yeah.
that. Yeah, there's
But-
that too. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on here.
Bro, love and appreciate both of you. Thank you, and God bless you
Likewise.
for having me on.
Guys, go follow Drew. Give us a like, subscribe, comment down below, and as always, be a good dude.